Yeah.
We are live. Hello, hello. We're trying to get all set up. I think there's several people trying to get on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good evening.
The yawns are going to be on tonight.
Yeah,
just
it's just-
forewarning.
Been a long day.
We had a long night and a super long day. So
We did.
the yawns are going to be on tonight.
And it wasn't even farm related. Farm really didn't win.
Wasn't.
It was
No.
just a day. So, how is everyone doing tonight? I know we got a few people starting to get on, so we'll give them a little time. I see the chats on my phone. There they come.
Supper at 7, our cabin in the woods. How are y'all?
Hey, Pete's little homestead. How is this behind this? Our computer's wanting to freeze up a little bit.
So did y'all read our title? She's Gone Country Farms. How are you?
We've had a crazy amount of milk. Yeah, we've been milking for a while. But this cow, when we talked about Elsa, our brown Jersey that y'all seen, and really the first part of our videos were about her. She 1.2, 1.4 gallons was kind of her norm. She hit a few days at 1.7, 1.8. I think there was one time last year that she got to 2 gallons. But man, this cow is crazy. Allie she is now feeding a baby, Josie, and she is also feeding us usually 2 gallons to over 2 gallons a day. Hey, TNS Dog and Dragonflies Farm. Hey, BW, how are y'all? But yeah, she's giving us about, oh goodness, this morning was about 2 gallons, and then yesterday morning was probably 2.5. That whole jar that we always show, she filled up to about that much. It was crazy.
That was yesterday and the day before.
Yeah,
so that's almost 3 gallons.
Yeah, and that's feeding a calf too.
Yeah.
And really in a dead season. I mean, this time of year we have ryegrass growing and they're on hay.
Which we suspected this because
she's a
her
big bag cow.
is huge. To where Elsa was, I mean, I guess you would call it normal. I don't know. But we knew that Allie was going to easily be producing way more milk than Elsa. So we've made all kinds of stuff this week. I'm super excited about to finally have our milk back. So we've been waiting on this for a really long time. And
well, we drink about a gallon a day. Use our gallon and a half.
A lot.
We've made, of course, yogurt and butter. We've made everything of homemade ice cream. We've made hot chocolate like 10 times. What else have we made? We cook with it, of course.
Yeah, I still have to make cheese, but I have not gotten
and we've still got at least
6 gallons,
6 to 7 gallons, and that's not counting the fact that I'm going to be milking at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock
in the morning.
So we are milk full, which again we can't complain. Like Misty said,
complain.
When we went through the dried out period from Elsa to Allie, that was miserable because we were having to buy milk and we hadn't bought milk in a while. So that was hard for us because we drank so much milk. And our kids, I was like, all right, no more drinking, no more. Now I'm like, drink all you want. So.
Yeah. Yes, the butter was very, very yellow. It was very pretty.
Yeah, she now I will say this. I think now she's got good butter fat ratio. I think Elsa had a little bit better butter fat ratio.
I could pull pull a little bit more cream off.
And don't get me wrong,
but she is feeding a baby.
Calf too.
She's got a baby right now.
But to me, Elsa gave a better butter fat ratio than what Allie is probably. And
we'll
test that once we get the baby off too.
She is feeding her baby, so that plays hey Grammy Karen, that plays a major role in her ordeal. But super excited to be able to have this as a blessing, and the yogurt, the butter, just everything. We have missed that so much.
Yeah, VW. We actually gave we had some older milk that was no good, and then anytime Misty does she's yawning.
I've warned y'all. I've been up since 4 and I'm not, and the baby was bad last night.
Anytime we make butter or any the byproduct or the waste of the milk, we always go to the pigs too. So our pigs do love it. They'll pass up anything and everything
for that milk.
So that's how we're going to lead them probably to the new area they're going into. So Hey, Ed's
It's
Model
like
Madness.
it's like a drug to them.
Hey, Piper
They
Homestead.
absolutely love it. And yes, a lot of cheese and a lot of ice cream. We made ice cream not last night.
Yeah, last
No,
night.
it was last night. And how cool is this? So I made ice cream and I used our vanilla. So I just made us some homemade vanilla back probably 4 weeks ago,
Yeah.
about 4 weeks ago. So I put us a little bit of homemade vanilla in there, and I used our milk and then the raw sugar cane sugar, and that was it. And it was so good. Simple ingredients, clean ingredients, and it was so good.
BW, we have soaked the feed for chickens. We thought about for the pigs, but it seems like because our feed trough, for which we have 7 pigs now, because we don't have a big enough feed trough when we soak it. Okay, when we soak it, it seems like we don't. I mean, they just go everywhere with it. So we have not soaked the pig's feed, other than just naturally pouring in, their normal waste and byproduct of food that we eat. But we have soaked the chicken feed. It does good, and really chickens eat it too. We even give it to our cat. I know people say, "Oh, don't give cows milk to cats." My cat and dog will smoke it, so don't get mad at me. But we give it to our Great Pyrenees. Hey, I will challenge you. I don't know anything else that we could possibly make with milk. We make just about everything. The only thing we have not made this week is just cheese, and which we're gonna make some of that probably tomorrow. Hey, making lemons from lemonade, or excuse me, making lemonade from lemon. Sorry. Uh, yeah, our cabin in the woods. You do need to move next door. We have so much milk, and that's what a lot of people still getting some milk from us too. We literally use it just about for everything. Now, one thing I did do too, we did move up. Hey Anna, we did move up to a game bird feed, of course, for our broilers, and I'm thinking about soaking it too, just to help it digest better for them. Anyway, they're growing really good, so I thought about soaking that too. So, give me your opinion on that. If y'all raise meat birds, are y'all soaking meat bird feed, or y'all doing straight dry feed for meat birds? That's the only thing I'm just not good for. BW, we thought about milk kefir. Misty, I think, has tried it once and she wasn't fond of it. And we do another thing we are making is sour cream. We didn't mention that. I'm sorry. But we've talked about kefir too. We're thinking about it, just playing around with that. It's not something that we're real crazy about, but now we're in excess to milk, so we may try some of those things too. So, hey Samson Farms, hey Don Golf. I'm trying to catch up on everybody. Hey Daniel, what's up, man? You did soak broiler feed. Okay, I will try it. I'm gonna see how it goes and see if that works out better because they're digesting fine. They really are doing really good on digestion. We lost one, but it was not lost for any reason other than he got his head stuck in a piece of the chicken wire. So
no, it wasn't the chicken wire. It was
chicken
the feeder.
The feeder. So so far, all the chickens are doing really good. All the meat broilers are doing really good, other than the fact that things like that happens because the chicken's brain is like that big. So you'd think that he knows his head can't fit through there, and somehow he still tried. So
I don't know who you've spoken to.
I think I've said that something to everybody. Your mom just got on, so hey, Miss Kathy. I think we got it all. Yeah, we do for I will say this too. Our sour cream kind of almost doubles as the yogurt. The yogurt almost doubles as the kefir. That's the only reason we haven't made kefir, just because we don't know taste wise. And then sour cream just is so close to just plain yogurt for us that we almost just say, you know what, let's just make one big batch. Misty Cook brings her vanilla out and mixes it and makes it for our vanilla yogurt. And then, of course, does it for dips and things like that she uses for the sour cream.
And speaking of what the pigs like in the milk, actually, when I strained off the whey from our yogurt the other day, because I made a nice sized batch, I took all the way out to the pigs, and that.
Hey, Rolling Homestead.
They absolutely love it. So going back to that was a treat that they got to eat the other day. And I'm not sure how many of y'all know how to make yogurt and how not to make yogurt, but it's really, really easy. So we take our raw milk, we warm it up. I don't have a specific set temperature. Some people warm it up closer to pasteurization temperature, which is going to be like that 180. But to me, I feel like that's harming the good stuff in the milk. and I don't want to do that. So I'll warm it up, usually roughly 120, something like that. Then you basically take your culture. I usually just buy mine at the store, like an organic yogurt, and then I put a cup in mine, and then you just stir it in really good together. You're gonna and then I poured it up until like I have like a huge mason jar. It's bigger than a quart, so it
It's
would
a half.
be
That one's a half gallon that we're using.
okay. So
Hey, Sheep Move
I
Mountains.
basically pour it up into there, cover it up with a piece of cheesecloth, and put it in my oven because it stays pretty warm in there, and leave it overnight. And the next morning, I will get a big pot with a strainer.
Yeah.
That's what they're called. A strainer, and put a piece of cheesecloth in it and dump the whole bucket over in it, because if you ever open like sour cream or yogurt or anything like that, and it's got the liquid on top, so that's called whey. And when it forms in the big jugs like that, it makes a lot of whey. So you have to strain that off. And then once it's all strained off, I just pick my cheesecloth back up and put it all back in my jar. And then you have yogurt.
Daniel, ours is 110 to 120 is usually what we hit ours at. Let's see.
I just don't like to go up
Too hot.
hot, because I feel like that's killing all the good stuff in the milk, and I don't want to do that. It kind of defeats the purpose of having raw milk. So.
Hey, Green Dream. Hey, let's see who I missed. Hey, Southern Blessed Homestead. I'm sorry I missed you a while ago.
Oh, by the way, we said we would give a shout out.
Yeah. For the ones I've been talking to Daniel. Daniel is some of his videos are really good. He just kind of started his videos. I kind of met him through the Abundant Permaculture spot of Justin Rhodes. So I've really got to enjoy some of his videos. If y'all had checked Daniel's videos out, check them out. I like his butchered video that he's got of a pig. So, and he's on one. I think he's on one of Justin Rhodes' videos, to be honest with you. So y'all check him out.
Learning and learning. That's what we like.
Yes, and we do. We try to keep everything raw as possible. One thing we've really tried to do, and this was not one of our topics, but since we're kind of talking about all this today, our goal has been to try to eat something, fermented, something raw, something cooked, and then something meat-wise. So we're trying to balance our diet out a little bit better. Now, we've done very good over the last year or two, just simply cleaning up our diet anyway, and really over the last, I'd say, 3 or 4 years. But to me, what we've talked about even for more this year, cancer and things go around so rampant, and y'all know that it goes around rampant all over. It's an epidemic. But for us, I think it's more based on the stuff we eat. And so the more we clean it up, the more we're able to utilize what we're using to cook and all that. I think it makes a huge difference. So we've really tried to eat something fermented, eat something eat something fermented, eat something raw, live, and then eat, of course, cooked meat. So and we don't mind eating vegetables that are cooked too. We just try to eat something that's raw and live and good for us anyway.
Yep. And speaking of that,
food is medicine. You're right.
As serious as we are getting, we've been discussing this because come January, I really want us to. We have been, and even this past year, we've been a little laxed about. If we're out and about and we're busy, we'll stop and pick up a pizza, maybe once a week. Or if we go to family events, family functions, anything like that. I mean, just like we just had Thanksgiving and we ate what everybody else brought, even though we know it's not good for us.
Soft drinks and fast food are not our problems. We don't do that anyway.
It's just the processed foods, the canned foods, which we don't cook canned foods, but the boxed foods, things that are not in season, that are forced to ripen early, and just stuff like that. So come January, I told Colby, it doesn't matter if it's a family function, we'll have to be the weirdos that bring our sack lunches. And, I really want us to get serious about, and we had just talked about this, and then I had a sweet,
Green Organic Love,
very, very sweet, precious friend of mine who moved states last year, and she messaged me and has been diagnosed with colon cancer. And they did find a spot on her liver in the CT. And so the next day, anyway, she went in and they did confirm that the mass in her colon was cancer. And so even that kind of brought it home to us even more because we had just been discussing, whether it's running to town and we know we're going to be out all day, take our healthy snacks with us. We have coolers, we have things like
That's
that.
what Daniel just
we
said.
can make it work. It's just we have to plan, we have to be organized, we have to be on the same page, we have to have our heads together. And
we've been doing good. We've been meal prepping, but like Missy says, we almost kind of we want to get to the next level. I've been watching a lot of minimalists and the approach of how they balance their diet out even more, and it kind of makes us want to just step it up. And I don't know if any of y'all feel that same way. I know we all want it, but it seems like Missy said, sometimes we're like, oh, it's just tonight's not the night, or let's make it easier.
This is easy, or like if you're going, like for us going to Thanksgiving, and
it's so easy to just pile everybody else's junk on our plate.
So and don't get me wrong, it was good and all that. We enjoyed our time, but we eventually next year we want to be to the point where even if it's a birthday party or a family event or whatever, we'll either eat before or we'll take an apple with us as a snack, or something like that will keep us from eating the cake and we don't want to be so strict that our kids are just totally miserable, but be very, very smart with what we do. And that's our next goal.
I tell you what, we the peanut butter balls, that's become like our kids' favorite snack, and that's a healthy, great snack that Missy
I have
made.
A video on that. It's so easy.
We love them.
The peanut butter, it's 100% peanut. I mean, it's just peanuts. And that's the things that we look for. The chocolate that's in it is very simple ingredients as well.
It's an organic
Other than that, it's rolled oats, honey, our honey, and I just totally lost.
Oatmeal, honey,
flaxseed. So, that's a good snack that we can take with us. Put the peanut butter on an apple, whether it's taking carrots with us or whatever. Just
Little Feet Farm Homestead.
It's important.
I'm the same way, and you can ask my wife. We were actually shopping the other day, and I'm always one of those ones like, I don't want to eat anything big, because I get nauseous if I eat something that's not typically what Misty cooks or what I cook, and just
it almost makes you feel. It just
makes you feel sick. And I don't say that to degrade their food. Their food was great tasting. It's just my body is not used to that anymore. So when we go out and we just pile this food that we're not used to eating, I can see where it does harm to our body. I could see that. So.
Well, we were specifically talking about something the other day that we were like, because of this, I mean, just look at this. No wonder so many people have cancer. But
right.
I mean, and that might not be for everybody. We're not saying this is the best thing for everybody to do, because we realize some people just can't. But for us and our health and our kids' health, we want to have the best options available. And even though it might not be convenient or the easiest thing to do, we're going to make it work for us and our family. And,
hey,
that's just where we're at.
Did anybody ever catch what is unique about Josie? Did anybody catch anything that's unique about our calf? I asked that last Wednesday. I don't see if anybody caught that. We had about 2 or 3 videos on the calf. See if y'all can catch that. If you haven't, still go back. We may even send a door prize or a giveaway for it. So just be looking.
She's got a very unique
distinctive trait. So just watch it. And we filmed it.
Did y'all see her in her hat? She was so cute. Colby showed me that. He was out there with her that day. And he showed me that picture, and I was like, that is so cute.
We've actually got I have another video coming up maybe in the next few days that's got a little clip of the other big cows. There was somebody the other day questioned why we hadn't showed the other cows. So we went up there, filmed them. There's some new babies there. Y'all see them too. So we'll show them there too.
Thank you, Little Feet Farm Homestead. Now your baby has an eye issue, or had an eye issue. I'm curious to know how that all plays out there.
Oh, so VW has a milk cow named Josie too.
Oh, okay. Really?
Now, how many milk cows do y'all have still now, Ben Andrea? I think y'all had a few, 3 or 4, didn't you?
I thought she had at least 3.
Man,
Because I was thinking, what would we do with all that milk?
geez, we have 2, and we usually ours kind of cross.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Gosh, that's terrible, little feet. Our cows cross, so basically the way it falls this time is we'll only milk them together like a 4-month interval, and then the rest of the time they're one milkers.
5 now.
Oh my gosh.
Which
I don't know what we would.
But y'all can sell your milk, so that's very
Yeah.
beneficial for you.
We do have a few people that will come get it that's close to us that does more of a feeding for animals or just they want to cook with or whatever. But I couldn't imagine milking 5 cows.
2 is going to be a chore for sure. But we're very thankful. It's a blessing. Very uncommon in our area. There's a handful of people that milk in our whole county.
Oh gosh, no, there's probably not even
2?
that. Yeah, there's probably only 2 farms in Brookhaven that milk now. There's not hardly anybody.
Yeah, well, I said a handful. I meant less than a handful.
Yeah, it used to be. This used to be one of the biggest. Southwest Mississippi and really South Mississippi used to be one of the biggest dairy areas around, and now, we had just in our county we had like I think it was 20 or 30 milk barns in our
I think
area.
She said 28 actually.
Back years ago. Now there's literally
10 years ago.
2, and then there's 3 more on kind of surrounding counties, but that's it. So
yeah, I think she said 10 years ago we had 28 operating dairy farms, but now there's very, very few.
Rolling Homestead Mod Edibles. Are you talking about the COPA, or are you talking about something new that YouTube has put out?
Well, the policy on COPA is already in effect, so I'm not sure.
If we missed another one, it wouldn't surprise me. We don't keep up like we should. So, what are some of y'all? Are y'all going to try to change eating habits? We're not the kind that sets like resolutions. So we're not those kind of people. We're not those kind of people. But we do always try to clean up every step. We get a new step going, with our fruits or whatever else. But have y'all set any goals for this next year? Did you conquer the goals that you wanted for 2019 in the homestead? So let us know that too. So
Organic Raw Roots just put out her first video.
Hey, Michael.
On her journey that they're starting. So y'all make sure to go check her out, show her some support. She put her very first video out.
Okay. Yeah, so we have one close to Kevin, BW, and then the other one's the one's in milk now. I think Elsa, I think I could do your plan when it comes to not milking when we don't need it for Elsa. I don't know if we could do that with Allie because the baby only takes, doesn't even get near taking that much. And actually the first morning we actually had to milk her twice just because we were scared that the baby wasn't even getting that. So, So I think, we have to milk Allie, but Elsa, I think we could probably do that. So
JNC's Oregon Homestead, how are you?
Hey, how are you doing? Another good thing that's happening is Allie's finally getting her appetite back. She's gotten to where she wouldn't eat because she was watching the baby. Now she's gotten where she's comfortable with the baby. Our Great Pyrenees has been like hanging with the baby. They've been like buddies. They'll go and they'll chase each other in the field, just kind of go round and round, just joking. So and Allie is okay with that. So I'm it's one of those things that we like the Great Pyrenees hanging out with them. The Great Pyrenees, of course, hangs out with our chickens and really hangs out with our pigs, but doesn't really ever get in the pen with them other than when they were smaller.
BW, you just suggested possibly getting another calf for her.
I thought about that too. I thought about making her become more of a nurse cow, especially when we're not using it. Hey, Alton. Gosh, I just don't know. And we have some calves. Like I have a meat cow right now, or my father has a meat cow that the baby just sucks the meat cow dry. The meat cow just is not producing like she probably should. And I thought about bringing her here, but Allie is so headstrong. I'm anxious to see if she would take another baby.
Yeah, I was going to say she might not.
Now Elsa would. Elsa would take
we might could get her in that stanchion and tie her up, and she get her all up in her lockdown mode, and she would.
Okay, what question did Little Feet have? Let's see. I'm sorry, we're down on the other part.
Is that it?
Personally, Little Feet, I'm gonna give you what we did. How about you, Hank? Little Feet, what we did, we don't typically give any antibiotics or shots. Um, if they need an immune booster, we use coconut oil, we use pumpkin seed. If they need a dewormer, we use pumpkin seed, or we use H2, shake leaves H2, or apple cider vinegar. Now, let me tell you the scenario we had with Elsa. We tried all that. We actually we put a heavier alfalfa load. We put her heavier hay quality. We put her on fresh grass just about every day. Moved her on a different rotation to bring her immune system up. However, her immune never really came up. So that's the only time that we went and we used antibiotics.
She was very, very, very sick.
Now,
like even when the vet come and looked at her, he said,
but see,
even if I give her this, it may or may not work.
But see, here's the difference though. Because we used that as a last resort, and she was not used to medicine, brought her up just like that. She was a totally different cow within a day. I mean, she was 2 days. Well, she was back to normal.
I would say 3 days. I would say about 2 or 3 days. She was
a huge difference. But it's because because they're not medicated normally. And again, I'm not against anybody medicating cows, especially if you have a big herd. I understand. But because she wasn't used to it, and we tried everything natural that we could, we gave her the vitamin C with the probiotic. We did all that. It just didn't work. So we finally had to give her an immunization, and that's why we actually dried her off sooner than later. Well, for us, I hope that helps. I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for. We do not, just like our calves. I know, don't frown on me. We just don't give blackleg. We don't give shots to our calves unless there is a major necessity. Because we try to keep it as clean of a herd as possible, especially if we're eating them, processing them. Our milk cows and our steer, especially like our steer, y'all have seen him, the white-faced baldy that we have, Ike. He is not. He hardly even eats grain. He'll eat grain. We'll finish him off on a little grain, but pretty much even him, knowing that we're going to eat him, knowing that his goal is to be, freezer camp, he pretty much is on grass his whole life. So we have not given him anything. He is completely all natural, no shots or anything. So,
and hey, Sonny's place. For us, it just didn't make sense to continue to jeopardize her health because she was very sick, and if we would not have treated her, she would have died. I mean, I'm a nurse by trade, and her breathing was extremely labored. I could tell it was affecting her physically. Right. If we would have not treated her, then she would have died, bottom line. And we would have lost a baby. Right. So not only would we have been losing our milk, we've been losing her future milk. We would have, of course, lost her. And then we would have lost her baby. So we were taking like a huge risk of not saying, okay, we've done everything that we can. Bottom line is, if we don't do this, then she's going to die. Yeah, Little Feet for us, there's a few vets in our town that's full antibiotic. But there's one vet in particular that we use that, I mean, he's just honest with you. He's like, look, I understand your concerns, but here's what I would do in this case. So I really like him. He's a very big livestock vet. He's not just a dog and cat vet. So he has a lot more experience with livestock, and we trust him. And it was one of those cases that we just had to take his word on it. Hey, to Shauna Cook, halfway home in central Mississippi. Welcome. Oh, wow. We're in southwest Mississippi, so we're not far. We're about an hour south of Jackson. So welcome. Thank you for coming. We have Mimsy on, and also Southern Blessed. Both are from, and Fairy Tale too. We're all from Mississippi. Yep. So glad to have some Mississippi folk on here. Mississippi representing tonight. Yeah, our vet's great. I can't say enough good things about him. But that's what I would do, Little Feet. You hate to give shots, but at the same time, if it comes down to the health of the cow and keeping this investment on your farm, right, it comes down to a life or death situation, which is what we were in. And also in those decisions, after we injected her, we decided to go ahead and dry her up because that wasn't what we preferred to do. Right. But we would have had to dump the milk for 2 weeks. We would have been pulling more from her, which would have, in return, decreased our delayed her healing time. Thanks, Grandma Karen. We would have been pulling milk for 2 weeks just to dump, and she's pregnant and she's due. We're thinking February. Right. So then we would have only been pumping for a little bit longer to just dry her up. So we
Right.
felt like that was still not good, just not good options for her health. So we went ahead at that point and dried her up. But
Hey, little garden,
she
big
is
dreams.
doing amazing. She's such a sweet girl.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Our biggest concern definitely was how Allie was going to do after she had her baby. But she's kind of surprised us.
Homesteading, the milk is good. So thank you for coming on too.
Really good.
You know, that's been another thing.
Thank you for joining us.
I can't
all the way
say
from Oklahoma.
we stanchion trained Allie because we were really worried about her. We thought she was going to go crazy in the stanchion. And there were some mornings she did, but you know what her punishment was? When she did bad in the stanchion, before she had a baby, when she was just heavy bred, if she was bad, took her out, she didn't get any feed, and it was like her punishment. And you could tell she was just, she was always upset because Elsa got to eat, she didn't.
That's what we would do when Colby was training her.
Yeah, when we trained her.
If she would go in and start acting crazy, he'd take the food away and kick her out.
But what it did do, because we trained her about not kicking in that, man, she's not, and like I said, she might light me up tomorrow, but she's not kicked. She is the best stanchion trained cow. And don't get me wrong, she's not as easy as Elsa. Elsa, I'd never even locked in. But to be a cow like she was very headstrong. She's the alpha of our herd. She's done great. I mean, I can't complain a bit. And really now, which I know are some of the videos, we're a few days behind, so you are seeing, like the next video you'll see that the calf is getting better, but
y'all, our videos are about 4 or 5 days behind. Yeah, so where y'all were seeing our struggles, this past week, that was last week. Yeah. So y'all can see though that with her calf through a total different factor in the ball game for her and for us. So me getting in there, holding the calf down and all of that was Colby wrestled with Allie and I wrestled with the calf, and y'all saw the camera go over. I mean, it was just wild in there. But had we not trained her and she had not ever gone in there,
plus she'd have kicked me. I mean, it would have
been way worse. So if you're ever looking at buying a cow and letting her calf to milk, train her while you have her. With Elsa,
don't buy a milk cow without knowing your cow. I mean, I would buy a cow that's heavy bred that you can train before you just all of a sudden buy her and want to have to milk.
Well, and when we got Elsa, she come off of a dairy barn.
Plantation.
So we brought her from being milked that morning. She spent the night at our house and had to go in to be milked the next morning. And you talking about that was a 4-hour process.
It was terrible.
Because she didn't know us, she didn't know where she was, and she didn't know what she was supposed to do. And it was a process.
It was a very bad process.
So even though Allie was a challenge, we've had way worse. But you just have to work with them and train them and teach them. But it makes it a whole lot easier to do that over time, because we had been working with Allie since May. Yeah. May is when you started working with her. We had 0 time to train Elsa.
Little feet, depends on what kind of pig you're wanting and what kind of hog. And some of the other pig owners can chime in, Daniel and BW if they're still here. Are you looking for a pig that you can slow grow? Or are you looking for a feeder pig real quick grow? Because we have 2 different breeds. We have a American Guinea hog, which is a slow grower. It's a lard hog, so they're not going to tear up and root a lot. They're a fatter pig, and they grow slower. So they're going to make more of a good pork chop because they're going to have a big fat cut on them, but you're not going to get as much bacon. If you're looking for a feeder hog, we have our Yorkshire. We have a blue butt Yorkshire. That's the pink pigs that you see out there. They're a feeder hog, just like a Tamworth, just like a Berkshire.
They grow fast.
They grow really quick. They tend to do, I mean, these have been great. Mm-hmm. They tend to root up a lot. So if you're needing land tilled up good, or you're not thinking they're going to hurt land too much to be where they're going to be, go with the feeder hog, because you're not going to spend as much money. The reason we did the American Guinea hog, though, is we're raising them, whereas the feeder hogs we're not raising yet.
Our cabin in the woods that I finally moved our chickens to the garden coop. You know, we had all of ours set up for that. We have not moved them yet, but they will be moved eventually. Yeah, but that's awesome. Because the thing with chickens is they scratch, so they till for you and they poop. So they fertilize for you. So they're making your job in the garden so much easier. It's kind of like a no-brainer why we wouldn't, you wouldn't put them out there and let them do the work for you. So that's awesome that you got yours working for you.
Yeah.
They're working for you in a lot of different ways. That's awesome.
American Guinea Hog is good. We have a guy that we actually bought ours from here. They taste different. They're not your typical. It's almost like eating grass-fed beef versus a piece of steak from Walmart. It's a different taste, but ultimately it's a better quality taste in the American Guinea Hog to me. And to Alderman Farms, who we bought it from, I actually tasted a pork chop of his. They have a just different taste because the fat's not running all through the meat. It's running on the outside of the meat because they're just a different breed of hog. But there's several other pig people on here. Y'all comment if y'all have any other words there. Sonny's Place, I hate that you're lactose intolerant. We live off milk.
Well, the thing about being
Try raw
lactose
milk.
intolerant
That's right.
is raw milk is different than store-bought milk. So when you get store-bought milk, it has been homogenized and it has been pasteurized. So the lactose property in itself gets changed. And a lot of people cannot process that changed lactose, and then they're, quote, diagnosed as being lactose intolerant. But many people who are considered lactose intolerant that cannot drink store-bought milk can have raw milk because the lactose is in its purest, rawest form, and your body can break it down and digest it versus all of the changes to the lactose components of the milk that the big companies do to it. So that's just something that
Sean Cook just said that too.
I would definitely
look into
that.
Especially in
also A2, that's right.
A2 milk.
A2
That's right.
is
I'll tell
probably
you,
be perfect for you.
Again, we drink raw milk, and that's just what we do. But I know places like Whole Foods, they do A2 milk. It's still, it's still pasteurized because they make them do it. It's not homogenized, but it's pasteurized, which we're against. But I'm just saying, for somebody that's wanting A2 milk and they can't find a raw
I wouldn't
berry,
say that we're against it, but
we're not against it. We just choose not to.
We have options that are better, so we go with those best options.
Penniless Plantation, we don't pasteurize our milk. Some people do. It takes a lot of the pasteurization. The pasteurization takes a lot of the good bacteria out with some of the bad bacteria. We know what our cow is eating, and we know the quality and the cleanliness.
That's right. That's what I was saying.
Cow.
That's the key. Really, is pasteurization kills the point of pasteurization is to kill bad bacteria. Where you're picking up bad bacteria if her teats are not clean, her udders are not clean, if your machine is not clean, if you dump your milk in something that's not clean. So you're picking up bad bacteria, which, don't get me wrong, we don't want, but we know how we clean our stuff and we know how we handle our milk. So we don't pasteurize our milk because it doesn't need to be pasteurized. And when you kill the bad stuff, you're also killing the good stuff.
Right.
So then you're basically drinking white water. I mean, especially the higher the temperature goes, the more you're killing. So that's the reason why we choose not to pasteurize, is because we handle our milk and we know how it's taken care of, and there's no point to kill it.
But we do know several homesteaders who still that drink raw milk, but they'll pasteurize it at least. I want to hit on Megan LaPointe. Yes, the way we stanch and trained her, and we do have a video on this, but basically what we would do is, at the time, Elsa was milking. Allie was the alpha, but we would still make her go in second. So she would watch Elsa go in. She knew Elsa had this big pile of good alfalfa or good feed
she could smell
that she could eat. She wanted it. I mean, you could see her drooling over it. So what we would do is, after Elsa milked, she heard the machine, she heard everything. If I at the time I was hand milking, but I started bringing the machine out. So both ways, she saw the cow get milked and saw the stanchion she had to be in. So at first, when we brought Elsa out, after we cleaned her and did everything to her, we bring Allie in. Well, Allie was easy to get in the stanchion because she knew that was where the feed was. The kicker on the stanchion training was leg positions, locking her in, letting her feel comfortable with you rubbing all over her, and also not kicking.
Discipline was important too.
There's commands and ways I hit our cows. Like, I touch them either on their belly. I touch them on the back of their leg, right there where they're actually where their knee brace comes in, because that's where she knows I can push that and it makes her legs stand back. And you can watch that video, but there's different techniques you can learn. She needs to get comfortable with your commands, because if you try to just all of a sudden just milk this cow that you don't know anything about and she don't know anything about you, it's going to be a bad day and you're going to end up with a bruise or two. So that's one thing. Yeah, we've been there. Trust me. I've been kicked so many times by Elsa because I learned my lesson.
We bought her from a dairy farm, like we said earlier. So she come here milking, and we didn't have an option.
That's right.
She didn't know us. We didn't know her. She didn't know what she was supposed to do. And
but that's a good question, Megan. And I challenge you, anytime if you're looking for a milk cow, get a heifer or a milk cow that's bred, and start training them to your stanchion, because that's like Elsa. Elsa literally, she was milking every day of her life at the farm, because she was coming to a new farm and a new stanchion and a new milk pump or a new hand milker. It was all different, and cows like repetition. So that was another thing. By bringing her in the stanchion, really, while she was heavy bred, it was almost like her body knew that. We would start touching on her, her hips and on her stomach, on her back, petting her more and more. And then we slowly started touching around her udders to let her understand that we're going to be taking care of her that way. So, very good question.
Love our country accent. Also, this is what I wanted to hit on. Mama Bear mentioned raw milk illegal being sold, blah 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 blah. We dealt with all that jazz here. So let me make a suggestion to you. If you can find a family that's within a reasonable driving distance who has their own family milk cow, if you supply them with feed, make donations to their farm for them to buy feed, I'm sure that they would be willing to give you free milk.
Right. And I think that's a lot of times you see them as CSAs, or you see them as food clubs, or you see them as country clubs. Joel Salatin talks a lot about that. And I think that if you ever go back and watch some of his videos, or some of the ways that he's not breaking law or anything like that, but he shows people how they're foodies and how they can utilize different ways to provide raw foods for other families. So it's a great thing to have food clubs around if you've got them. Yeah, Megan, I tell you another thing. The main thing with a cow too is and BW says it, work with them, form a bond. Our cows are like family, so we treat them like that. If we have to get on to them, we'll get on to them. But other than that,
we try to teach them.
We try to teach them to be a part of the family. I would challenge you to get a scent strout or a cow can't kick kit. We have one. We've never had to use it, but it's always good to weigh our hobbles, anything that keeps her legs together. If she's a kicker, you'll learn that too. If you can't train her not to kick you, then you need to have precautionary wisdom. So, okay, if I can't get her to train, I need to get a cinch strap that goes around her. A cow can't kick, which is basically a horseshoe that goes around her hips, or hobbles. That will help her train as well. So.
Yeah. So Little Garden Big Dream said traditionally we used to be able to buy raw goat milk sold as bath milk, but they've cracked down on that there. And then Little Feet Farm Homestead said
buy milk for pets.
Buy milk for pets.
Yeah.
And that's pretty commonly done around our area too. In the goat milk world, we don't have goats, but the goat milk world, to sell that, it's pet food, and whatever you choose to do with it, you do with it. But we're going to sell it to you as animal consumption.
Isn't it amazing how legislatively, I'm a conservative Christian libertarian here, so I will get on this just for a second. I had to go to a class today, and it was dealing with work, but the whole purpose of this class was them talking about, vaping. And again, if you choose to vape, great. I don't, that's your own prerogative. But what they were saying was it's not FDA approved. And it amazes me that we can sell something that's not FDA approved. They can't tell what's in it, and it's causing all these issues, and I can't sell raw milk. It blows my mind.
Blows our mind.
It blows our mind. I mean, I don't understand that for nothing. And actually,
in the yard homestead.
I asked one of my legislators one time. They're like, "No, you can't do that." And I'm thinking, yeah, but at the same time, you can do all this other stuff, or they can sell all this stuff that's known terrible for you. but we can't sell raw
literally
milk.
giving people major respiratory diseases.
I'm good with even putting a warning label on there.
They can still sell it.
Yeah.
Y'all, that just totally
Crazy.
blows my mind. I don't know.
I had to say it. It just bothered me today. I was thinking,
and something that God gave us this animal, He gave us pure milk, and it's treated as if it was a drug. It's illegal to sell. Y'all, it's not crack or
I was at one place one time and I asked one of the extension
not trying to
agents,
get on a soapbox here, but I'm like, come on, y'all. Seriously.
I asked her, I said, are we ever going to get to where we could, there's states, even though I'm not some of these more liberal states, they're going a little bit more green and organic, but they're able to sell raw milk a lot more. And so I asked them, I said, are we ever going to get to the point where we do raw milk? Man, they rake me over the coals.
I would never drink raw milk.
Like,
and we
are
were
you
like,
crazy?
Have you ever really studied raw milk? Like, seriously.
It was so funny. I just kind of chuckled. I was thinking, I've raised our family on it. My son and daughters.
Straight out the cow.
So I just thought it was funny. So anyway, sorry to get on that little tangent of politics there, but it just bothered me today. So
yeah. So anyway, but we are very thankful. I mean, Allie has really proven to be an amazing all the way around. I was really worried about her demeanor and how she was going to act when she had her cow. I was hoping that she was going to mellow down some, and she has. So very, very thankful for that. She puts out catoodles, hey, I made up a word. Catoodles of milk. And so we just could not be more thankful because there's so many benefits from it. Y'all heard us talk about the butter. Y'all seen pictures of our butter, the yogurt, the ice creams. I've got to make cheese, and just everyday cooking, drinking. That's right, straight out the cow. Hey, we need to make a shirt that says straight out the cow. Speaking of shirts, I finally got my HOA shirt. I ordered it, and it took a little while, which is fine. It's not really that big of a deal, but I am excited about it.
Yeah. Straight out the cow.
Straight out the cow. We need to get a shirt.
Catoodles.
Straight out
milk
the cow.
Straight out the cow.
We need to go to sleep.
We do. Hitting on VW, we have the big barrels for rainwater catchment. We have one garden that's on the other side of the pond that has no water feature there. We can siphon it out of the pond that's close to it, but it would be going uphill. So we've got the rainwater catchment barrels. We just have to build a little lean-to to actually catch it and push it on that garden.
You have been born and raised on a farm when you can say that we used to climb up the bats and get the milk straight out and drink it as kids. That is awesome. So let's see. Little garden, big dreams. That is awesome. Squirted into your mouth. Look, his sister's little
Rustic
boy.
traditions. You're correct, by the way.
His sister's little boy loved milk so much, and her husband's parents had a milking cow until she died. But they used to talk about Thank
you, Grammy Karen.
They used to talk about they wanted to just send him out. They said we could just send him out. We could just send him out and just let him nurse right off the cow. As he was born, he had some issues, so they decided instead of doing store-bought milk until he got a little bit older, they did the raw milk, and they used to make jokes about sending him out and just let him just nurse all right off the cow.
Subject 7, we're going to go with that Conversate, and we've already been hit up by Flip Flop Barnyard to do the shirt that says T90. So we've got a lot of shirts going on. Nobody understands unless you watch our videos, because it's going to be Misty's Webster's Dictionary or something like that, because she just makes up words. Or Misty's Encyclopedia.
Hey, you said cattywampus.
Cattywampus,
but
that is a real word.
That is a real word. Conversate is a word too.
It is a word. Conversate.
You use unique English, and I use ghetto English.
Mississippi.
I don't know what you could call it.
Mississippi.
Well, I think that's about it. We've had a really rough day, but it's so good to get on here and just be able to talk to y'all.
So organic raw roots farm, you can't collect the rainwater? That's against the law? man, where have we gotten as a culture that you can't collect your own rainwater?
Please tell me you're not from California.
No, she's in Florida.
Florida. Okay,
But what's so crazy? I heard somebody else say the other day.
Is it because it's so polluted?
Well, no, it's probably because they need the rainwater catchment to go wherever it goes into the drainage. I would imagine. You know, I had somebody tell me the other day what they say about there was a law that passed in a state, and I'm not going to mention the state, but they were trying to pass the law.
The rain doesn't belong to them. That's right.
Yeah, I know, and that's crazy. But I heard another one the other day that some of the people that were starting to buy solar. Now we've talked about doing off-grid solar, not solar on the grid. But there was a state that was already mandating the fact that you could not have solar unless it was on the grid. And if it was not on the grid, they would tax you. And that blew my mind that we were so wrapped up in the fact that people like us that were trying to be more sustainable, that if our solar or our wind or our whatever we were using to energize our home was not hooked into the grid where they could utilize it, it was against the law. So I thought that was dangerous too. So
do we know why this is a big deal? Is it because they think it's their water and you're not having to pay them for water? Is that it? Or is it because they think that it's actually polluted? I mean, what is the actual reason?
That is a very unique, that's crazy. Now, I will say this. They started in a state next to us, and I'm not going to say what state too, that you were not allowed to build ponds anymore unless the government mandated it, even on your private land, because of the way the rivers were going and the rainwater was hitting the area. So I don't know. That could be part of it too, that they were wanting to make sure that water goes wherever it goes. Now, we catch our water. That's one thing good about Mississippi. Now, I will give it to all the Mississippi. Mississippi don't have a lot going for it on some aspects. Trust me, we're usually on the bottom
of everything.
We're always the redheaded stepchild. I'm sorry if you're a redheaded stepchild, but we're always the redheaded stepchild. But one good thing is they really don't touch us. They don't. They just kind of. There's a lot of stuff they kind of just let it go.
Well,
because there's a bunch of people that own a lot of different things, and they don't touch it. You know.
Which they did get all up into the milk.
They got in the milk, but at the time it was because we had tons of milk farms and dairy farms, and at the time cooperatives was a big thing. Now cooperatives made the dairy industry go broke. Another subject. But that's what hurt that was legislative.
But for the most part, even down to the homeschool and stuff and everything, there's a little in government involved here, which is the way that it should be.
Yeah.
Little government here. So.
Yeah, I could see water contamination. It's kind of like anything like raw milk. Yeah, I understand that too. But it's just like, you know, if we're supposed to be the kind to do what we want to do and we have those freedoms and liberties, we should be able to drink our own water, drink our own milk.
And not only that, if it makes me sick, then why are you worried about it? I mean.
Well, that's like us. We have a well. We use well water. We don't use any kind of city or county water. I mean, not saying it's not bad or good for you, but I don't want the government or city or county coming in and telling me what I could do with my own well that I spent money to dig. So it's kind of like rainwater catchment to me.
Free to do what we want here in Missouri.
I hope those freedoms stay. I really do.
I do too.
I really do.
But if things keep changing the way they're going, then we probably gonna lose those freedoms.
Well, I think we're running out of time. How did we get on politics? Unbelievable.
Talking about milk.
Milk and water.
Which we're actually drowning in right now.
Milk and water. That's how we get on politics. So. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching. We're getting close to our hour. We want to make sure we leave enough time for everybody to get over to other lives. I know Single Dad has one coming up at 9 o'clock our time.
Y'all be sure to check him out.
Yeah.
Awesome guy. Awesome story.
Tell Chris
doing
we said
awesome
hello.
Things.
But thank y'all.
Tell Chris we sent y'all.
Yeah, tell Chris we sent y'all. That'd even be better. Thank y'all so much for watching, though.
Yes, all the new guys on here. Thank y'all so much for hopping on and joining us. We really appreciate it. We love getting to know y'all and learning about y'all, answering questions for y'all and learning from y'all.
We're trying to get to the next step of 2,000 subscribers, so hopefully we will get that. We're going to do another push and giveaway probably soon. So, but thank y'all so very much.
Somebody tell us what the deal is with Josie.
Yeah, that's right.
Y'all got to go find that out.
Find out. What does she have? Her character trait.
unique characteristic.
Oh yeah, it might not be unique. It's unique on our farm.
It's unique. So no, if a cattleman comes up here and says, "Yeah, I've never seen that before," then yeah, it's probably pretty unique.
Thank y'all again for stopping by.
Yes, thank you guys all the way from Australia that have been on. Y'all are awesome.
God bless you. Happy homesteading, y'all.